Hi, everybody. Once again, it's my honor to welcome you on behalf of Accu-Stats Video Productions to the 42nd U.S. Open 9-Ball Championship. Thank you so very much. Live right here in the Accu-Stats Arena from the Sheraton Norfolk Waterside Hotel for the third consecutive year. We have 139 of the best players on the planet that assembled to vie for one of the most prestigious crowns in the world and arguably the most prestigious crown in the USA. Before we get underway with this winner's bracket match, I'd like to take another opportunity to recognize our three signature sponsors, Aramuth, Simonis, and Diamond, for being so loyal to us over the years, and also to each and every one of you for your loyalty and support of Accu-Stats and of Professional Pool. So with that being said, let's not wait any longer. We've got two champions right here ready to do battle to see who's going to stay on the good side. We're not going to say goodbye to either one of these guys right now, but whoever wins this has got one step closer to maybe raising that plaque tomorrow night. So without further delay, let me introduce our first player from Scotland. This gentleman is a former Challenge of Champions champion. In 2016, he was both the AZ Billiards and the Billiards Digest Player of the Year. He's currently the #2 ranked player in the world, sponsored by Mayuchi and DigiQ by OB. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Eagle Eye, Jayson Shaw. Thank you very much. His opponent's from Chinese Taipei. This gentleman's a former CSI Invitational 8-ball champion, and he's got a runner-up finish in the All Japan Open among his list of accomplishments. He's sponsored by Predator and Longacy. Would you kindly welcome KO PING-CHUNG? All right, here we go. Race to 11, winner break format. At this time, I'm going to send it upstairs to the booth to Mark Wilson and to U.S. Open champion Double J, Jeremy Jones. Take it away, guys.
Welcome, pool fans. This is the 2017 U.S. Open. My name is Mark Wilson, and alongside me is our color commentator, former U.S. Open champion, Jeremy Jones. Welcome aboard, Jeremy. Any opening thoughts here for this match?
Oh, thanks, Mark, and happy to be here. Yeah, both these guys, Jayson making a deep run here last year, which I think is going to help him in this situation a little bit, and playing a great match here last night against Billy Thorpe. I think it's going to bode well for him, but KO's been steady, and he's been getting better every match from what I've seen. So, again, I look at a match that you're probably not going to see many mistakes at all. It's just a lot of who's going to get started first and take advantage of some opportunities.
Probably the edge in terms of firepower goes to Jayson Shaw, but in the tactical side of the game, I'd lean towards KO. He doesn't make many unforced errors. Super tight patterns where Jayson will tend on maybe relying a little bit on his firepower and shot making.
Yeah, and it's but KO, I mean, he can knock him in too. He's really great going forward with the cue ball in places where you might see other guys want to draw the ball because just the pocketing of the ball, they're more comfortable hitting down on the cue ball. And I think that really helps on this table here. I think if you get comfortable with that medium speed, moving the ball forward on this table, it helps with those nerves. It's a lot easier than trying to draw the ball from places. So,
yeah, by this time in the tournament, you've really been tested, and these guys are no strangers to center table action. Many, many years of serious competition. Shaw has won the lag, left-handed, and will be breaking.
Yeah, and last night at the beginning of the match, there were a few times he needed to roll out, but in the middle of the match, he really put some racks together.
Open bridge, 4-ball on the wing.
Okay, is he going to get the legal break?
He's going to get the scratch? No. Yeah, he did get the legal break because he made 2 and 1 crossed. But man, this is tough. He's really buried inside the pocket.
Yeah, this is a tester, real thin angle to chip the 2 and try and come back behind the 8-9. Because the 2's not going to move out much. You want the ball to move out a little bit. Now, he may be able to he's putting the 2 below the 8-9, trying to just come one rail across behind the 7.
He's going to hit the 5.
Too thin. And you're going to see KO go right to the jump cue. And I'll tell you firsthand experience, I played him in the what would be essentially a third round here on the winner's side, and he made an incredible jump shot on me, hill.
I watched, yeah.
On the one ball, very similar to this shot, really, and he drew the ball back up to the center of the table for another shot. So
This is the story is that in Chinese Taipei, they have 1 day a week at the professional pool players school where they only use jump cues.
oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, and you can see how adept they are at it.
Well, it's a big part of our game these days, and I was going to say I wouldn't call him an underdog now.
Wow.
What a great
What an
shot.
opening shot. Now, this is where he really shines, is in his management of the balls. He just never gets in trouble. Rarely do you see him blow a pattern like this.
Yeah, well, that's the sign of a great pool player. Not only the talent, but being efficient, minimizing mistakes. And Jayson will probably tell you himself that he wasn't too happy where he located that 2 ball and that safety. He really wanted it on the middle of this back rail. So you might call it a little bit of an unforced error at this level.
I definitely would, because that's the one side of the game that Jayson doesn't respect that much, because he generally just overpowers you. He'll just play one safety, and then if you beat him after that, he just lets you have that game because he's going to win the next 3. However, this is the highest level. This is the major leagues of pool, and that doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, I think he thinks he has that in the bag to make up for mistakes, but I think he's very aware of every shot these days. He's played this gentleman many times, and a bunch of players that play his level, meaning Jayson's level, Ko's level, all those guys, world champions, pretty much. So I think, like I said, he has that in the bag. He has that mentality when he needs it. But overall, he's trying to take this every match as professional as he can. I think that's why you're seeing improvements too.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, and I agree. I maybe made a little bit too of a broad generalization, but certainly in past years, that was a very spot-on, accurate assessment. He's been much better of late. 1-0, little Ko.
Well, I think also getting back at that point, I think it's a common thing for a guy for the super talented guys that didn't start off playing the rotation as a profession. They start off playing whatever other games they started, English 8-ball, whether it be snooker or whatever. When they come to playing rotation pool, some parts of the game that they look at us struggling with, and not struggling with, but are very aware of, long shots with English, different things, they do so easily that they don't immediately have the respect for the game that they should, so.
Right, the strategic part of it, where such as bank shots, breaking, jump shots for sure, positional play, breaking out balls, when to duck, safety play.
Yeah, well, it's, like every other sport, too. I watch a lot of golf because it's so similar to pool, individual, stationary object, whatnot. But, a new guy will come on the scene, and he'll just kind of overpower the game. Like John Rahm, I think, is the guy the last year and a half, 2 years, But, he's still struggling to win tournaments. But still, they're like, oh, nobody's ever hit the ball better.
Right.
There's been guys like that. And not saying that they fizzle out. They certainly go on to have great careers, just like in pool. But they realize that, hey, that they're human just like the other guys are.
Yeah.
You got to take your bumps and bruises.
Right. Little Ko breaking, wing ball, and the 1-baller down. These guys have turned these break rules, and they got it working for them now. Whatever evolution of the game it takes as they change the structure to try to minimize balls on the break and make it more play. These guys figure out a way to get around it.
Well, I really think the best way, and we won't get too much into the rules, I don't think, with these two playing, but it's just tighten the pockets, is my opinion, to help everything out. At this level, I don't think many people would complain. He really wants to attack here, though. He's just got to figure out, how am I not going to trap myself? He's got a tough shot on the 2 anyways. So when you're making a tough shot, sometimes position's not guaranteed, but you want it to be at least pretty doable. You don't want to be shooting at a real tough shot and then not gaining any position.
Right. You can't shoot a tough shot and then not get out from it. If you're going to take it on, the risk is there has to be a reward.
Looks like to me he needs to draw his ball. Is he trying to roll forward into the 9 or something here? Wow, what a great shot.
Look at that hit.
He's not going to get too lucky behind it. He's going to get a little 50-ish. He's going to have a thin cut on the side, which I think he'll attack and go right into the 5 with the cue ball. I don't see him banking this, do you?
I wouldn't think. I think it's just like what you said, because if he goes past the side pocket with the 3, it makes it a really tough play coming back.
He may be banking this now. When
he's
the nerves,
queuing up low.
Yeah, he's queuing up low. I know it's a thin cut, but the cue ball really gets slowed down nicely by the by the 5. So you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't a worry that the cue ball was going to get away from you. The 5 was going to really slow the cue ball down. I think that much, even though it was thin, I really liked his chances cutting it in. I'm going to watch out for the 7 here. That's going to need to go a little bit because he's got traffic coming back down the table. Oh, he just got there.
And Jayson, he's got to be one of the most relaxed players I've ever seen. There's nothing that gets him flustered. He doesn't even think about it.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. He's that relaxed. You know, like, quite honestly, like KO. I played him the other night, and I don't really know what type of person he is. You know, there's a language barrier, of course, but the relaxed types, to me, in my opinion, are the guys that play while they're still being themselves, more or less. You know, and you can tell when someone's relaxed. Not saying they're making jokes or whatever, but like little mannerisms, little facial expressions. You know, I guess that's Jayson. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. One apiece. To your point too. If you talk to Jayson after the match, he will definitely be aware that he floated in there just a hair short and like that. You talk to him, he was concerned, but he never gives the illusion that he's concerned, you know?
Right. Yeah, walk in the park, a little bit of walk in the park attitude.
Very refreshing. Snooker player that's like that is Jimmy White.
Oh.
You ever been around Jimmy?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. He's happy-go-lucky. He's like the Artful Dodger and Oliver. He's just...
The whirlwind.
Yeah.
Isn't that what they call him?
Yeah.
I liked him being around him for the little bit I was around him.
5 or 6 times he was runner-up in the World Championship. And you had to beat absolute killers to get there, but he's like the Buffalo Bills. He just couldn't win that last game.
Yeah, I think it was someone asked me about who I'd beaten whenever I won this tournament. And the final was Jose Perique, and I'm not sure if it's 3 or 4 times he finished second. I think 3, right?
Yeah, he didn't win it, so I just have the winners down. I didn't really look for runners-up. Yeah.
I think he lost to Corey and maybe Mika once. Oh, no, Corey beat Mika, excuse me. He lost to Mika once, and he lost to somebody else a time ago. Now, this is one area that, from playing KO and out, this was on the outer table, so that makes a little difference, but I'd have to say between the two that I've seen, even though KO's been very successful on the break, he ran a bunch of racks on me to come back, and but Jayson's been very successful, and as soon as I say that, he scratches across the corner twice. So.
All right. Well, little KO made an opening with a jump shot in the first rack, and now he gets a great opening here.
Yeah, and everything kind of works together here. You got the 3 and then the 4 and then the 5 and the side goes right towards the 6. So you really shouldn't see anything close to a mistake here. Just want to get real full on that 4 ball. Definitely like him shooting this in the corner much more than the side.
I was talking to Justin Bergman last night, and I said, who's bigger, you or little KO? And Justin acted like he just dwarfed him or something. I'm like, I'm not even sure.
Yeah, Justin's bigger, that's for sure. He's a half a weight class bigger.
Maybe a half a weight class.
Yeah, and Justin I think KO would have to come up in weight class. I don't know if Justin can get any smaller, really. But.
Yeah.
But that shows you right there from both them guys that it doesn't take 6 foot something to be an incredible player. He's got a little stretch here, and he's going to be over the 8. So that's why you saw a little smirk there. He wasn't as in love with the way he hit that.
Mm-hmm. All ball fouls too. He switches left-handed.
Now is he going to draw back for the good angle? Okay, I was thinking shooting lefty, you want to stay to where you have plenty of angle to move back. That way you don't draw back to that funny angle.
Yeah.
You know, now if you're shooting that shot right-handed, maybe you're looking at a different story.
And there's that shot you talked about, him handling the cue ball going forward. He's just a little bit more adept than most of the players that you see.
And he's got a lot of confidence. Like, of course you're going to get down and roll this in, but from a lot of angles on the rail, back behind the ball and stuff, it's the right way to shoot it, and he doesn't mind doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of guys will stay away from things like that. But
Right. Good point. 2-1's our score. Ko over Shaw.
2:30 round matchup here on the one side. And from the Philippines, please welcome again Jeff DeLuna. Thank you very much. His opponent from Chinese Taipei, and I neglected to recognize this last time. I want to do it now. This gentleman is currently the #1 ranked player in the world.
Both these players are up-tempo players, so we won't be sitting here thinking of things to talk about because we won't even be able to get too many points in the way it is.
yeah, and Jayson slowed his tempo down a little bit in the last year or so into like a perfect rhythm, I think, and then Ko just kind of plays in that perfect rhythm as well. So
I think a big part of Ko is that he plays so much pool that he's familiar with just about everything that's going to crop up and has already made these decisions many times daily, and so he's so familiar there's not much to think about in the more iffy areas. Everybody recognizes the basic patterns, but some of those little nuances are just come a little bit more readily when you're playing that much pool.
right. Well, we have an hour match starting between Chang and Jeff DeLuna. DeLuna just made a couple incredible outs to knock Thorsten Holman out. So he had an 11-6 win after being 6-6. He wins 5 in a row. So he's looking pretty strong on the loser side now. He's won several on the loser side.
Right, the Bull knocked out Skylar Woodward last night. I watched that match, and I broadcast a couple of his matches here on Center Table.
Yeah, and hats off to Sky after losing his first match. Him and Shane both, they made a big, deep run in the loser side. Just about like winning the tournament from the winner's side, as many matches as they won.
And beyond that, that's not easier on the loser side. It's just got one champion after the other coming over there.
Twice as many matches. So,
all right, Ko breaking, 8-ball on the wing. I love the care he puts into the aim on the break. 3-6. He made one, made the 2-ball.
has he got an edge of this 1 ball? Can he get? I think he may be able to do something here, rail first, or even like cutting it down the rail. Maybe it's close to if he can get at it.
It's declared a push out.
Wow.
Well, that means he'd have to go
going
rail first.
He's going the air. Then he's got maybe. I'm really going to be bewildered on where the push shot is here, letting him see the ball.
He might. Well, I don't think he's going to let him see it. He probably is anticipating getting it back. No, he's left a bank.
Well, he's left a no good bank.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the one you want to shoot at there, Mark. Now, you may be able to cross it and get down there on the end rail and use the 3-9, maybe as some cover, and maybe put the 1 over the top of the 8. But I got to agree with Jayson here in this spot.
I kind of had a feeling that Ko was, as crazy as it sounds, maybe thinking about kicking it off the point and letting the cue ball come across table. And
wow.
the far point, the trick shot thing.
Yeah.
I kind of thought he was maybe bluffing, but now that where he's pushed, I don't think that's what he's doing.
I think he's just purely wanting to duck. I don't really think the bank's on. He's got to make sure not to get the double kiss, though, and scratch in the corner. Caught the point, and he may have been playing it there off the point. He's giving up a shot.
Yeah. I think it was the circumstance, just like you alluded to, though. He wanted to make sure he didn't get the double kiss, and in so doing, that's he knew it was a gamble, and he was willing to take that chance.
Yeah. I'm not in love with the push out, though. I think with the ball where it was at, there were other places, maybe up table, that you could have made it tough and maybe got the shot back in a better spot. Maybe not, though. He doesn't want to bridge over them. That's about perfect there. Now, he's only got a couple pockets for the 6, so this is where he'll figure out, because 4 to the 5 is key. So he'll want it just a little bit of angle on the 4. Either way, a little bit of angle is okay. Pretty full, but just a little bit of angle. That makes it easy to get to the 5 in the side or in the upper corner. Dead straight is the one he wants to avoid. Could have used a little more there.
Yeah, it's a little bit dicey here. If he's going forward, I don't think
he's just going to take his. Oh, he's coming back here, and this is still getting a little dicey. He's going to have to go around the 7 and play for the 6 in the same corner. He's actually gotten perfect. Just straight high English.
Yeah, anytime you can just play straight high English and speed control, that's a pretty darn good position. In the pass ball.
And just really watch the last foot, how it coasts into position. He just really gets us started with a great stroke. And then the speed and the touch is just perfect.
The thing with these great shot makers like Jayson, it almost seems like the tip stays on the cue ball just that little millisecond longer with a proper follow through. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, that's timing. I think that's all timing. You know, there's a release point for everything, and when you have any kind of stroke involved, whether it be throwing a baseball or swinging a bat or whatever it is, and when your timing of everything, you know, you're at your fastest acceleration right at impact, well, then you're going to get the most out of it.
Two apiece is our score. Both players looking ready to go here. The way this is started off, it's going to be nobody's going to lose. It's just somebody's going to run out of time. You know, I don't think either one of them is going to falter.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier. These races to 11 at this caliber is really just, you know, you're going to see these guys both perform well almost every time. It's not like they're going to dog it very often. So when they're both performing well, you're just not seeing much difference in the race to 5. You're seeing, like, you know, there might be 3 or 4% difference between the two players. Now, not going with the Accu-Stats maybe, but because the shots opportunity is a hard one to gauge, I guess, but opportunity at shots. But, you know, like, it's probably like 9 holes of golf, you know, where they play 72 holes. But our deal is we play multiple matches.
Right.
So, but in a head-to-head like Ko versus Shaw, it's just very minimal, the percentage point difference on play.
Yeah, that's right. Particularly a race to 11 with this caliber of talent is a very short race.
And he's going to want to get a look at this because it was an illegal break.
All right.
Now, this is going to be a difficult one. He's going to have to replace the 4.
Yeah, referee's going to have to come up with something special here.
He should replace the 4. The 4 is on the rack. If he removes the 1, he's going to have to still remove the 4, I believe. Yeah, remove the 4 first. Okay.
You're going to be the referee coach from now on.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you got to remove the 4 first. Okay, I don't think he can afford to pass this, but I would certainly want the rack removed because you want to roll on what would be that side of the 1 and come back behind the 6, 7, and so you're not going to have a heavy speed on this ball, and it's going to be rolling rather than sliding, and that's when this rack could maybe affect a little bit of this ball.
Well, certainly the 1 going across the rack will slow it down, and you're already hitting it soft. You don't want it to diminish.
I just don't want to get a little bit of a miss hit on the 1. Did he leave him the gap? He left him the gap, and he's not going to be happy with that.
I don't know about that. Maybe he did, yeah.
It's close.
It looks like he may have to half masse, but it's not much.
I'll tell you what, the jump isn't a bad option here. Really, as good as these guys are with the jump cue, the masse now he's got to hit it perfect or go into the 8 with the cue ball after hitting the 1. So, yeah, I was afraid of that shot, that it was going to bite too much.
Good call. Good call. I think in retrospect, Jayson realizes now that's why that had too much risk.
Yeah, well, he had to catch it really thin and probably just shave the 1 enough and then catch the 8 with the cue ball to slow the cue ball down. So it was asking a lot, but he was in a tough spot.
Yeah. Anytime you have to masse to hope to hit the edge of a ball.
Trying to play with a perfect speed not to sell out.
Right.
So got to be careful of the 8 here. We're playing all ball fouls, and that's why you saw that little shorter stroke right there. It's one thing you have to do is adapt with the all ball fouls. Different bridges, different stances at the table. I like it myself.
Oh, yeah, you have to play that. That's the only way. It's real pool. Otherwise,
There's
it's
no,
so amateurish looking.
There's no question marks on what happened.
Right.
Now, he's a little funny here because he wants to gain a little bit of an angle on the 3 or a lot of angle, but he doesn't want to be elevated over the 4. So he chose to get a little flatter and a little longer away from the 3 just so he's not up in the air with the cue stick. And I really like that because you just kind of calm yourself down and realize this shot's not that tough. Let me just knock it in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this particular layout is very indicative of how he goes through his layouts. Once he gets that first shot, he puts you away with it. And very, very little cue ball movement, minimum of cue ball travel.
Yeah, really picks the rack apart nicely. And I think, to be honest with you, he can draw his ball. He draws his ball fine, whatnot. But he plays forward with the cue ball, and I really believe that's a lot of the way. When you can pick out the natural path, you knock the balls in so much easier. You pick out the natural path, and what you do is, I need to help it with just a little left here, or I need to help with just a little right here. If you're going the natural path of the cue ball, and you can use that route, you're going to knock the ball in at a high rate. A little thin here on the 6, though.
Yeah, it's almost like you're working with physics rather than against physics.
Right, which opens the pocket up. And Ko looks very comfortable. I think Jayson, if he would have looked at the jump shot, that might have been Jayson from a year ago. Let me shoot at the first thing I kind of think of, maybe.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think he would tell you the same thing, but.
Yeah, I think you're right. In hindsight.
I'm not a big fan of the jump, but I think right there with the way the balls were laying, it was okay.
Well, little Ko pushes back in front. 3-2.
Pretty packed house here early Friday afternoon.
Yeah, that's good to see. Well, I'll tell you what, when Strickland played here the other day, it was absolutely standing room only. He's the one player that still sells tickets for this. For whatever reason, like him or love him, and then we have both sides, but he sells tickets. He brings firepower, and he usually brings fireworks.
Yeah, well, he was playing pretty well, too, overall, from what I saw. Had a few blunders here and there, but we all did.
No, I thought he was playing remarkably well, and he seemed in better disposition than in some cases, so that certainly makes a difference.
We're playing down to the Final Four today, folks. I believe we get started at noon tomorrow. Is that right? Thought I looked.
That sounds right. 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. 1, 3, and 7. I'll be in Texas, so I was thinking noon in Texas is what I was thinking.
Fair enough.
Really trading games through these first 5. Not something you see too often.
KO PING-CHUNG breaking, 7 ball on the wing.
Nothing went. Not sure if he's got a sliver of this or not. I don't think he does. And if he doesn't, this is, again, going to be a very difficult rollout. It was a legal break, I believe.
Jayson just wanted to make sure.
He's in a tough spot on the rollout here, too, folks. Better make sure he freezes this cue ball if he rolls out on this side up here. Gets it real close. It's not going to like this too much. Well, it's not easy, but
If you kick into the back of the 1, you can play the 9 in the side. You're relatively exposed, however, but it's a little bit easier to play when you're forced to play from here as opposed to Ko.
I don't think he can pass this. I think he plays the 1 towards the 6 and just tries to go into the 4 and then get a snooker. Try and use the 1 into the 6 to where if you do let him see a piece, the 1 doesn't go by the 6. I think that's about all he can do. Oh, he got by the 9 nicely. Okay. That's why I was wondering about Jayson's push out. Now, considering where he pushed out, this is not that bad because the way it sits, if he jumps at it and he doesn't hang it, probably won't leave that easy of a shot. I'm thinking the 1 will get out of there and the cue ball will be down on that back rail by the 2. So all things considered from where he was at, this is not that bad of a shot to be getting. It can be a winning shot as well if he knocks it in.
And it also doesn't have to turn out unfavorably if he misses it.
No, he can get that cue ball to the back rail without hanging it, which is hard to do from this angle, hitting at this speed. You got to figure he may not sell out a shot, just like so.
Very effective. Backdoor safety.
Oh, even more so. If the 5's got this rail cut off over here, Ko's in real trouble. Real trouble. I'm not sure what he's going to look at doing here. If he can't, he's going to look at putting the 2 on the 6, but still.
Yeah.
He's got to really look at trying to hit this ball if it's not too unreasonable. Even if he can do it slowly. Like go maybe past the 6 with English in between the end rail and to the 3-4 and just roll coast up on this ball real slowly. Don't hit it hard. Like so. Yeah, that's definitely the shot.
What a shot.
Yeah.
What a call by you, Jeremy.
Yeah, he was trying to think about tying that ball up, and that wouldn't have served him so well. Now, this didn't turn out great, but he's got a 1-rail kick across again to where he can just tap on top of the 1.
Well, he bought himself another inning at the table, at least. Maybe he can get something better. It didn't turn out that way.
Yeah, and he can always tie the 1-7 up and kick from there as well, and he may do that kicking across right here. So he's going to kick again lightly. Don't offer a scratch off the 1 on the side by kicking it hard. Looks good to me. I know he's going to get snookered again, but he's battling just for a better kick, believe it or not.
Yeah, right. And give your opponent the chance to make a small mistake, too.
Yeah, I've seen a guy not get a rail from here before, just trying to do something nice and easy. And I would go ahead and go to the rail and behind the 9, I think, on the side rail, if I could. Well, I think Ko's got to go rail first at this, I think. And come off the 7 with a cue ball, trying to dive the cue ball down here below these balls. I know the 1's going to go up the table a little bit, but what else you going to do, Mark?
No, right.
You could kick long rail, but
it doesn't have any win. It only has a loss attached to it.
Well, fouling is a big part, too. Like, you could kick fairly accurately at the 1 to where if the 7 wasn't there, you would hit the 1. But now you catch the 7 just a little bit first, and you give a ball in hand. At the rail first, I think you're definitely going to hit the 1 every time. And there's not offensive. You're probably going to be snookered.
Yeah, the point's
and
big.
the point's there because you have to kick to that side, so. You're going to see Jayson follow through this one ball, I believe. He may draw it, I guess. A little surprising. I always like following my ball more than drawing into position. But he is left-handed as well, which makes this a little easier. Can't blame him there, though. He could get so much closer to the 2 drawing it.
And with ball in hand.
He really got a little thin here, though, Mark. He's going to have to put a little funny pinch draw on this and not too much going back towards that side.
Yeah, this would be one of those in-between strokes. It's not easy to go 2 cushions because, like you said, it's just a little bit thin.
And now, if you didn't have to hit it easy enough to hold for the 3, coming back to that second cushion's a little easier, but holding for that 3 as well, he's just going to have to try and come out 1 rail. Now, this is using your talent a little bit.
Yeah.
Great hit. Great hit. Got about as full on the 3 as he could, too, which is probably going to serve him well trying to float this in.
One of those little in-between strokes, it's like a half a 9-iron or something there.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, for sure. That's the ones you stay away from for the most part. But these great players, they commit to them. Even though it's a funny stroke, they commit to it, which makes all the difference in the world.
And truthfully, I think it's just a tool that you have to have. Efren showed me all the different little finishing tools that he had.
And he's got to watch out here. He's got to watch out here, not only getting snookered, but getting a little flat and on the rail on this 5. I don't see Jayson quite as comfortable as KO just yet. Well, that helped.
Yeah.
That convinced me a little more.
That was a pretty shot.
But you'll notice when he applies English, it just isn't much. Like right there, he just put a little bit of left to help that. Mainly it was the good top English stroke that got everything going.
Mm-hmm.
And both these guys are like smelling the blood of which one's going to get the break going first and stretch out a lead here. That's the feeling I get.
And there it is. Jayson Shaw ties the match once again at 3. Very high standard of play thus far. You know, since Jayson has arrived in the U.S., and it's just over the last 7-8 years, basically, doesn't he seem like he's bulked up, like muscle-wise?
Yeah, he works out. Yeah, he works out.
Yeah, he looks just so much stronger to me, and just healthier too. You know.
Yeah, no, he works out. I see him here daily, going to the gym, and then he's got his dog and his baby and his wife here. So
yeah,
or fiance maybe. But he's walking the dog right after he gets done working out. So
he's looking up here at you, says he wants to get the break going, I think.
Yeah, we were talking before the match, and he's like, "Man, I got a new one. I got a new break here. Watch this." And it's actually more of one I was using. He was hitting a harder cut throughout the tournament, and he hit one last night that was real effective throughout the match against Billy Thorpe. But he was showing me one that I was trying most of the tournament. It was a little slower, a little more spin, really pushing that corner ball in. But since he acted like he was going to use it here in this match, but it looks like he's just stuck to the little bit harder cut than he was doing most of the tournament.
He looked up here as if to say he was going to unleash it now. So. All right, here we go.
That's confidence, though. Want to unleash something new. Okay, that was the harder one. Oh, and he made the 1. Okay.
And is that?
He's good.
Is that the 2 right there in front of the cue ball?
Beautiful here.
Oh boy.
3 to the 4, 5, 6 is laying over the side. 6 to the 7 really is going to be the shot over on this rack, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, don't get me wrong, he can't get ahead of himself, but you'll see they're really open. This is kind of what I was talking about. Who's the first person that's going to capitalize on a great kick shot to win a game and then get the break going? So, or a great safety or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
First 6 games, we had a lot of back and forth, a few safeties, and then successful runouts, but it wasn't breaking runs for the most part. Got a little straight here, so that's a little concerning. You may have to come across and shoot the 7 from a little distance.
Last night he made 2 object ball fouls in the early stages of that match too. And I'm sure he's a little bit more aware of that today.
And hats off to Billy Thorpe, a great tournament representing the U.S. Just getting knocked out earlier. 2 tough losses after a great event.
Yeah, Shaw stuck a match on him. Shaw was ahead 7-1, and Billy came back, and he really won thereafter. He ended up losing 11-8, but he was back to 10-8 and breaking. So.
And scratched on the break, and but nevertheless, look forward to big things in the future from Billy here at the U.S. Open and other places, and Jayson Shaw now with the 9 to win Game 7.
And he cruises to a nice break and run out there. Takes the lead, 4-3.
Corey Deuel is still representing the U.S., I believe. He was successful earlier beating Filler from Germany.
What a match that was. That was one of the most entertaining matches we did, and we did a lot of good ones this week.
Well, there's that Filler is a young man that's very animated, and Corey, he's usually, believe it or not, a lot of people don't know, but Corey's a pretty fun guy to usually play the tournament matches with. You know what I mean? Like, he's got a good perspective on things. He's he's no young man anymore overall. He's still young, but what is he, about 39, 38?
He's in his 40s.
Oh, is he 40 already,
Yeah.
Corey? So, anyways, but Corey's a lot of fun to play with, and I'm sure he was enjoying Mr. Filler. So. And enjoying it since he won it, of course. That makes things a little easier. But
literally vintage Corey Deuel from 20 years ago. It used to be, he'd almost make the balls here in the last few years. Now he's almost missing the balls, and they're still going in. Great to watch. And he did a couple things that he hasn't been doing. He didn't have the yips. He wasn't moving his head, and he wasn't getting quick on his transition from backswing to foreswing. And you could really see the effect of that. And his confidence shot up during that match, and it was tested many, many times by Filler.
Well, he was my, you might call small dark horse to win the tournament. I watched him play just a couple matches early in the tournament, and I really liked his composure. He looked pretty relaxed, even though, you can tell when Corey's feeling the moment, and I don't mean in a bad way, but he looks prepared. I talk about it all the time, prepared nerves and unprepared nerves, and all of us get nervous. He just looks prepared for him. So.
Yeah, good point. All right, Jayson Shaw unleashing his new break. 1 ball found in the side pocket.
Yeah, this is going to turn out bad for Mr. Ko.
Yeah, he's got a nice opening shot on the 2, leads to the 3. Looks like maybe 2 cushions.
I can't quite get a perfect view at the table. Yeah, it looks perfect. It looks natural, not too thin to where you're diving towards the 6. You can come right around, getting real full on the 3. And the 4 is out enough to where anything that's just not too steep. Okay,
it's not working.
Just one shot, pretty much straight English, straight high ball, maybe a touch outside, but not much. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
It's perfect there.
That is.
And you'll see him here probably end up shooting the 8 up long is the only tester he's going to have here. Probably. He could fall a little short on. He needs to pay attention going from the 4 to the 5, or he could end up with a little more angle on the 5 than he wants. But don't see any issues, though.
Could have just top spin out of there, preserve the angle.
And again, coming across here, just stay off the rail mainly. That's going to end up a little thin on the 6, but not quite thin enough to make it easy to move around. Like, he got just about as rough as he could get, but he's still just going to punch his ball. He's going to let his stroke out. Center ball, right? Or is he going top? Is he going top, really? Yeah, this is the shot I like. He's so efficient with that shot there. Never seems to underhit it or overhit it.
Got the nice angle to just drift away from the rail just a little bit. Very good. You know, this all started from a safety exchange, and little Ko did a great job kicking soft. Remember, he opened it up with that two-cushion kick that you called
Yeah,
from
and then across
way
the
down
table as well, yeah.
Across the table, Jayson just kept coming back. It used to be Jayson gave up on those safety battles midway. He just let you have that rack and beat you the next three. But now he's playing the entire game, and he earned that opportunity, won that game, and now he's broken around out 2 behind it. And that's the only way to separate yourself from these other great players. You can't gunfight with them every rack.
Well, yeah, you got to, you know, when you're playing the entire game, you're nothing's secure in our sport. You know, the good players are so great. Looks like you're about to win the title, and it's going to get taken away from you. But it's more in your hands. It's more in your hands on the outcome if you play the entire game. Not only have the talent, but play the entire game.
Yeah.
You're not always going to win. Things are going to happen. Guys are going to make great shots on you and great recoveries and whatnot. But in the long run, which Jayson Shaw and both Ko are in it here for, in the long run, you're going to see them play in the 52nd and probably the 62nd annual U.S. Open.
Yeah.
So it's not just the 42nd we're talking about here.
Shaw playing at 977 right now. I guess that's just one error. I don't even remember it.
And again, this is kind of what I was thinking. Whoever just gets a little bit of momentum with the break, I don't really anticipate many mistakes by either player. It's just the one that can get a few shots and maybe put a middle package together, you know, somewhere, get a 4 or 5 game lead.
Oh, boy. This is going to be good again, isn't it?
Oh, no, this is close.
This is
close.
Jason's disappointed. The 2's buried in there, and the 9's kind of covering it.
I don't think he can get to it rail first without fouling. He's going to have to roll out and make the 2 on a foul, I think, and leave the cue ball on a long distance 4 ball, like kicking to the rail and hit the 9 and make the 2 and just leave the cue ball there. The guy might play you safe behind the 6 or whatever, but I don't think from that angle it looks awfully tough to get in there. I don't like his chances. He's going to have to hit it slowly. Any kind of big bounce on this cue ball, he's in trouble. Oh, he got there, but he scratched.
Off the back of the 9.
It was a clean hit, though.
Yeah. It was a nice effort.
Yeah. It's just a slick table. Once it caught that other ball, it still had a little bit of that top English, and it just went right back to the pocket.
You had that top English turned into draw English when it hit the other ball and sucked it back just a little bit.
A little unlucky, but I kind of believe if I was at the table, I think I might have felt the scratch there. You know what I mean? Like I wonder if it was just one of them shots that would just be like, oh my, I can't believe that ever even happened. You know, but you kind of get a feeling a lot of times on those scratches. So, but he was in trouble either way. I mean, if you can get at the 2, I guess you got to go at it no matter what.
Well, he could have hit it a little bit softer, and maybe that helps too.
Oh, that would have definitely kept from scratching, but you're going to be pinned. That's the thing he's thinking. You're going to be pinned down here, but that was probably still the play, though.
Powered up, nice 2-cushion position route.
I don't want to get dead elevated and straight in here, though.
No, but it's still, this of all the times they get elevated, this is not that bad of one. For us tall guys, at least. You know, might not be good for him. But
I'm saying now, if he's got a little angle, he's fine, but he just, that behind angle on the 8 floating up here, you know what I mean? That's not, you always want to be above it if you can.
Right.
And that behind angle is not that bad when you're off the rail, but now he's got a little concern. You know, he's got to get through the ball nice to make sure he doesn't scratch on the side. He's got to have a nice speed. If he lets up on a stroke, he can end up short. If he overhits it, he could fall just behind the 9. So we'll see. Nice touch there.
Good shot.
Again, he's behind it a little bit. This type of shot, believe it or not, you just take your eye off a little bit, you could hang it.
And he makes it look easy. 5-4 is now the score. Jayson Shaw in front. Ko will be breaking. What's next for you, JJ? Are you going home?
Yeah, I'm going home tomorrow morning, and then to 31 degrees is what the forecast is. Cold front back in Dallas, but not too happy about that. But I'm not 100% yet. I'm definitely playing in the Space City Open. That's coming up at the beginning of December. The end of November, beginning of December. I might go watch the Moscone Cup. Not 100% on that just yet either, but and there's a tournament in South Carolina also that. But I've been gone a lot lately. I'm ready to be home.
Yeah.
So. And you?
Well, we got Lindenwood Billiards team will be firing up on Tuesday when I get back. And so
Okay.
we've got a big tournament coming up at the University of Michigan with 16 schools we're attending. So we're kind of gearing up. We're only a couple weeks. It's November 10th it begins. So.
Well, good luck.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got some super firepower on this team. Strongest team I've ever had, and we've won the Nationals the last 4 years. So,
Wow.
yeah, this team is tangibly better. Used to be we always had 4 or 5 great ones. Now we have 4 or 5 great ones, and our middle tier is super strong.
Nothing wrong with that.
No. And deep. Nice break there.
Yeah, good kiss on the 8 too to get that ball up for the past the head string. If he didn't get that ball and get the kiss, he wasn't going to make a legal break. Don't really think he has an offensive shot. I mean, could cut the 2, but that doesn't look too nice, too good to me. If he could lay this down, coming up, putting it behind the 8, and getting that cue ball planted on the back rail behind the 9 here, he could cut him off pretty decent, believe it or not. Well, he needs a little more, I think. No, that's going to be good.
Boy, this is a spot where you really can't do anything to help yourself other than just prevent committing a foul.
Yeah, well, these players all day should hit this. It's a matter of how you want to hit it. I like the 2 rail speed. Just get the 2 out in the middle of the table past the 3. Kicking 2 rails, trying to hit the 2 real full. If you kick hard, you could scratch real easy. That's still good, too. May not be exactly what he wanted, but it's still a great hit.
Yeah, it could have turned out better. Made a solid contact.
And he's didn't give a ball in hand, which I didn't anticipate. I don't think you did either, Mark, but we'll see. He's got to maybe run into this 3 a little bit. I'm not sure if he can go right down past the 3 and past the 9 as well. It's close.
I love the detail and intricacy. These guys really play every, like grain of the cloth here to where they're going to get, what part of the 3 am I going to hit?
Yeah, and I think more than anything, it's just dialing yourself in. The more fine-tuned you can get without making your brain fry, of course. It just dials you in. Okay, nice kiss on the 6, but then again, at the same time,
It was a decent effort, and it's percentages. He knew that there was a chance that something could not work out, but there's also a great chance the way he hit it that it could work out really well.
and he's going to need to put a little speed on this if he doesn't have as much angle as I'm thinking to get back for the 4. He could just lay up for the bank, though, like if he needed to just pop it in and stop right there. But I think you're going to see him try to hit it hard enough to get shape. He's going to curve at it and just take the bank.
Yep. I think that's the best choice.
Yeah, if you can curve at this and just take the bank, there's nothing wrong with that.
Going to measure up exactly how he'd like to lay on the bank. You don't have a lot of latitude with it, but still it's good to check because then when you get there, it's more reassuring, like, oh, I expected this bank.
Yeah.
As opposed to, oh, that's where I got. Very nice. Yep. World-class pool. They make it look easy.
Yeah, the curve shot is one of the best to watch in my mind. The accuracy and the, that just tells you how it's such a sport the gut instinct to trust the curve of the cue ball by elevating your cue stick and hitting it a certain way. It's just amazing. It's not really something you can gauge in my mind. Did he catch a piece of the 9 there?
Yeah.
Okay. He's gotten a little funny to where he's going to have to use just good speed coming 2 rails out of this corner. This is where I think he really excels. Just when the pressure's on, you got to just use your talent, I call it, just coming 2 natural rails and falling into position somewhere around where the cue ball's at now. He doesn't ever overhit it. Just real nice with the speed. I'm not saying that's a tough shot, but when the pressure's on, those are the types of shots that get you a lot of times.
Yeah.
You overcut it, undercut it, overhit it, underhit it.
And much like you said in the opening, he handles that type shot really well. That's his field of expertise. Better than the average pro.
Yeah, just letting the cue ball fall into position.
World-class pool, 5-5, almost mistake-free. Championship equipment, 959 for Shaw, 911 for Ko.
Now both these guys are on the winner's side, so whoever wins this match will go on to play the hot seat match, and then the loser will be in the final 6, playing in a later on this evening.
Can you imagine if we had just like say an 8-stop tour of this quality per year, and maybe just a little more money? Guys could actually make a living, and the competition, and all the Euros and Asians would come here for it.
Yeah, well, I think an 8-stop tour in a short period of time, if done correctly, could be a 20-stop tour.
Right.
I really believe that.
And then now you got the minor leagues, you got kids wanting to play. There's an aspirational component, which we lack.
Yeah, if you can advertise this type of list of champion players to be in an event, and you have time to advertise something like that, it'd be hard for me to believe you couldn't raise good money in a bunch of different areas.
Yeah. That's my dream. I would love to see it happen.
I think it's going to happen for sure.
We've waited a long time, but yeah, I know I put a lot of effort towards it. Personally, I think this could easily be a much larger arena, and we could sell it out if we had pre-sales and really pushed and worked hard and had an advanced team working on it. And you'd say, well, there's no money in it. Well, there would be down the way. Numbers begets numbers.
Everything's a process. So,
little Ko breaking now. 5-ball on the wing. Our score is tied at 5. 2-ball found the pocket. 1 ball's gone. 3-ball. What's he got?
He's got a tough shot, but it's one he's going to shoot at for sure. I think he's going to shoot it in and come straight across the table for the 4, I believe, where he's looking now. Tough shot under the pressure, though. Tough shot, period. But anytime you're going at these diamond side pockets from a funny angle, and you can't really put much on it because you're on the rail. So,
yeah, and the first shot of your inning, you definitely want to pocket the ball, even at the expense of position.
Yeah, great shot.
Yeah, he trimmed it right in there, no problem.
Just a little bit of check up here going in between the 7-9. I don't think there's any reason to go on the right side of the 9, of the 7, excuse me. Now, in my mind, he's going to come one rail out for the 7 in the corner, keep things real easy. Instead of drawing up, I see a lot of mistakes by players trying to come down for this 7 in the side.
I'd like to raise my hand.
That's what, making that mistake. Not saying that's a bad thing. Under the pressure, a lot of guys do it, and I might have done it myself right there, but a lot of times when I'm playing my best pool, I just come one rail out like Buddy Hall would have done and just stop and have the 1 right there. So.
Yep. What a great role model for pattern play Buddy Hall is.
Yeah.
He played these simple patterns before anyone knew simple patterns.
Boy, he just, he believed in the way he played, and what helped him so much is what he was doing. He believed in what he was doing on the patterns as well. So, shot everything with confidence, whichever way he shot it.
Yeah, the great Buddy Hall. Miss him. He won major, whenever the money got big, over 4 decades, Buddy Hall was your man. Well played. Good time to break and run out. Put himself in front now, 6 games to 5. near perfect pool. If you're not enjoying this, there's got to be something wrong with you.
And really, they're just a great opening shot by Ko.
Yeah, this is two warriors going at it.
And we've had about 4 lead changes now. I think some three or four lead changes. Maybe more, actually, because they exchanged games through the first 6.
I just find it so inspiring to see pool play. You want to go hit balls. I mean, I'm looking to go to head Q Master right after this.
Well, I'll be watching Game 3 of the World Series tonight, Mark. Intently.
Yeah. Who's pitching?
McCullers against Darvish. Darvish. So I live in the Dallas area. I'm not really a Cowboys fan at all. Never have been. I always, don't like the Cowboys. I was an Oilers fan in Texas, but baseball's my thing. But I always liked the Rangers for some reason, even though, I mean, nothing like the Astros, of course, but they were always a fun team to watch. So I was kind of a Darvish fan a little bit. Now he's gone to the dark side, so I got to change my thoughts on that. He's playing for the Dodgers, so.
Do you go back to Love You Blue?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, big time. Big time. Earl Campbell.
Yeah.
Remember, the 34s in Houston sports are all my favorites. That'd be Earl Campbell, number 34, Nolan Ryan, number 34, and Akeem Olajuwon, number 34. So
6 ball on the wing. Ko breaking and leading.
Okay, they're both losing the rock down low, and
quite a break there.
And he's going to get a shot on the 2 and the... No, maybe not. It's close.
Well, he's delighted that he didn't scratch no matter what.
Yeah, and he's delighted to where he can jump this in if he doesn't have a straight-in look. Can't roll out to the jump. If he leaves it to... Jayson will shoot it himself. Because Jayson knows he can't pass it back. So he's going to go ahead and jump from here, which is a little tougher. You'll notice the distance from the cue ball to the 9 is greater than the distance from the 9 to the 2. So that makes it hard. You got to fly it a long ways and then get it down. So...
And not bounce the 2 ball off the table.
Yeah, this will test all his skills. Yeah, that was a toughie.
That was a little too tough.
He let off a little bit because he knew he had to get it up and then down as well. So as tough as it was to get it over the 9, getting it down and settled onto the 2 was just as difficult. So big swings in this match so far. I mean, not a lot of games, but a lot of lead swings. So, and just when the other opponent looked like he needed an opportunity, is he upset? He's got to play the combination, maybe. I wouldn't force anything right here if this angle isn't really there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to play the 9.
No, the 3 getting to the 5. I'm saying I just play the combination is what I mean. Okay, he had plenty of angle.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want him to sit there and have to pound it over with the combination being pretty easy on the 5-6. He'll have to make a decision. Do I come across to the right side of the 7 or do I stay in the center for the cut?
Nothing but the middle of the pocket here for both of these guys. Part of the pocket with the 9 ball. We're tied at 6.
Well, I'll tell you what you've seen is you've seen both players really making balls on the break, not always getting a shot. So there's not really been a ton of congestion. There's not, they're making 1 or 2 on the break. So whoever gets the first open look, there's really been a high success rate on clearing the table.
Boy, I'll say. Well, the players are on timeout here, and we'll be right back with you when they return to the arena.
Now, Jayson was really successful here just a few games ago on the break. Oh, he caught the point. I don't see the corner ball going in.
One ball. Look at that.
Okay,
Not sure if he has a shot or not, but it's real close together.
He's
there.
lefty now. That might give him a little better chance, leaning over on the table, maybe throwing this ball in. Okay, he's definitely going to shoot at it. If he can get full on this 2 ball somehow. He needs to get full on the 2 or where he can hold for the 3. Needs another bump, and he got it.
Wow.
Okay, now can he right-handed? This is touchy. Okay, he's going to go. Oh, he's got to put English. He's got to English this ball.
He's change his mind here.
This is difficult.
It is.
I may not take this chance. I may play underneath and duck. I'm not sure on this table he can make a grab enough to hold position. Can he?
One thing I will say, if he misses
go into it, maybe bump it a little bit. He's going to have to play this to the upper side of the pocket.
That's what I was going to say. If he misses it, he'll overcut it.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about, and that's what I was thinking. Maybe just bump it. But he hit it light enough to where if it didn't produce a shot, he was going to have a safety of some sort. So good thinking there, really.
Yeah, and furthermore, the quality of Simonis cloth where they separate after they hit each other is important too.
Does he come out 2 rails, or does he just hold for the side? Okay, I like that shot. The thing is, he's going to have to come out 2 again. The 5 doesn't pass the 6. But real standard pool, especially these are the kinds of shots you'll see him. He shoots them at a lot. Like he shoots. So I mean, so good at him because he goes through the rack shooting a very similar, 3 or 4 ways to shoot the ball. He keeps it to that, which most pros do. A little heavy there. Got a little bit of the point.
And then he had a little inside spin, so he just overcompensated for the amount of squirt he was going to get. But this is just what I was saying about Corey. You know you're playing good when you almost miss, as opposed to almost make it.
A little light there too, but it's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
Rolled out nice.
Nice way to come back from a break with a break and run out. 7-6 our score. Jayson Shaw now in front.
And really taking a chance on that 1, but he knew he had to be aggressive, and most likely bad things aren't going to happen, you know. Mm-hmm. He may not come away with a shot. He could have scratched maybe off the 2 some kind of way, but overall, you know, the great players, they're aggressive. They're looking to get the ball in and continue the run.
Same thing with position on the 3. That was a challenge, so he lightly bumped it. It could have turned out unfavorably where he would have had to play safe, but it turned out perfect.
Yeah, but that was pretty mature thinking, knowing that, hey, I might have to play safe here, but I'm not going to get snookered. I'm not going to try and kill it perfectly and come by the ball and not get a shot. Chang and Jeff DeLuna tied up at 4 games apiece on the outer table.
Yeah, we got some of the same culprits from last year here towards the end. Chang and Shaw were in the top 4. Van Boning was there.
Well, this is one tournament that it's really consistent in a lot of ways. So I think you're going to see, like other sports, like, of course, it's a diamond pool table, but the conditions or the area or maybe the setting, maybe the rules, whatever, there's variables that set up to where you're going to say, oh, that guy always plays good there. You know, if you had other events in places that were at this quality and you know, you would say, oh, no, that guy always plays good over there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's just going to be that type of deal. This tournament is so magnified because it's our greatest tournament in the country. So, wow, and they end up with a nice cross-corner bank. Now is the 4 going to open?
Yeah, the wing ball went in. The 1 ball went in the side.
And he's going for this. That's for sure. He's just going to figure out, am I playing short side on the 4 for the side, or am I going to let it go and try and get out for the corner? The corner's funny, though. He's got to get past the 5 just right. Great shot.
Man, he's playing good. Oh, boy.
Yeah, but he put a lot more stroke on that than you thought. He made sure he got through that ball to the rail and then up off the rail by the 5. checking the cue ball up with a little bit of inside. Got a little flat here, Mark. You're going to see him let the cue go with a little speed here.
It's a good shot. Very effective.
You can go 2 cushions here or just pull it up the rail, whichever he prefers. Probably 2 cushions.
Appreciative audience, recognizing not just the execution, just the decision making was quality. And after the player timeout, Jayson Shaw returns with 2 consecutive break and runouts. 8-6 in front now. This is not unfamiliar territory for Ko. So all he can do is wait, get prepared for his next turn. You know Shaw's playing well. You can't expect him to play bad.
No, not at all. Just it's weird just how usually still from a spot like this, you'll get an opportunity to get back in the match somehow. Maybe not this game. Maybe it's 9-6 when it happens, or even 10-6. But like Mark said, just he's preparing himself, keeping himself, however he does it, in tune with getting ready for that opportunity.
That was one of the great things watching Billy Thorpe last night, was that from 7-1 down, he never quit, he never backed up, he never got frustrated, and worked himself back into where he was a threat to win the match.
Yeah, well, no matter the situation, all these guys are looking to make great moments. You know what I mean? They're professional, but at the same time, you have certain wins in your career that you talk about for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily the finals all the time. So
7 ball and 1 ball again.
he's going to get a shot on the 3 too.
Wow.
He's made 3 or 4?
4.
Okay. He's right on the 50 on the 3, but again, just the kind of shot he thrives for. Can't go forward this time. I think the corner is real close to scratching. Real close. I think he may have to cue down on this ball. Either pound it to the side rail or draw it. It's just a matter of getting that first shot on the 4, though. And as long as he can fall off the rail, even if he's long distance on the 4, that's okay. The 5's pretty accessible. Yeah.
It seems like his timing was just a little
quicker, yeah. Yeah, he didn't do his normal pre-strokes like he had been doing.
That was the first time we saw him feel a little threatened.
Still, though, definitely no hanger he missed.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying what I saw was
Yeah,
just
no,
a
it's
little,
definitely quicker. A stroke or 2 shorter on the pre-strokes and just a little quicker and shorter delivery.
Well, Ko goes to work. He's like an artist. Just everything goes just the way it's supposed to. So much harder to do than it is to conceive.
You let that fall a little much, and that's going to be a little long too, ain't it?
He's okay.
He's okay,
not great, yeah.
Definitely a little thinner on it than I would think he wanted. You don't necessarily want to ease the ball in the side, and you definitely don't want to rifle it like going 2 rails back and forth. So it's just going to be a medium, easy shot here, real light. You may catch the second rail over here, but
I think he's introducing side spin, yeah.
Okay.
Check it up. That little weird back cut.
And he's got to elevate it. Looks like to me. It doesn't look like he can afford to go forward and take a chance at scratching. So,
Yeah, just got in that funny spot.
main thing is don't overhit it. Just a nice little clean hit.
Okay, effortlessly handled. 8-7 is our score. Go trailing but breaking.
Timeout.
Both players well over 900. I mean, when you see people play like this, you just hate for anyone to lose, you know? I do.
Yeah, well, both these guys will be back, which is a good thing. Is it one of those we might as well make it hill now?
Yeah.
Kind of feels that way. Uh-oh. Now, they've each had a scratch on the break in this match, and I would say both of them were unforced errors. One with Shaw losing the cue ball down in the lower left corner, and now Ko losing it in the left side at a crucial time, 8-7 trailing.
Some of this is brought on by the cut break, though, because the cue ball's hot.
Absolutely.
And then there's other balls that clip it, and it's just the risk that comes with the cut break.
I think it's actually done wonders for the guys in their games. It almost humbleizes them, realizing there's an area of risk and, you know, like it's something that is a possibility out there that you just have to deal with at times. It could happen to you at the worst time possible, and it probably is going to happen at the worst time possible if we continue to play these rules, which I kind of like them. I mean, I think it's thrown a lot of variation into the game. Not saying the guys hadn't figured out the break that well, but it's falling a little short here, so you're just going to have to go to the rail and back out.
And truthfully, you know, fitness makes a difference because you have to hit the cue ball precise. And when you're really fit, you're able to swing the cue more accurately. You don't have to jerk it to get the power up. And that's, I think, that's what Jayson Shaw is. Real smooth, efficient power.
Yeah, well, as far as being fit, that helps you put in more hours being efficient and accurate. That's the main thing in my mind. These young guys, they get to really put in a lot of hours playing, and anybody that's doing that is going to be a lot more accurate, so, and a lot more confident too.
Yep. Shaw grabs that game right back.
Yeah, and really got back in tempo with his swing. Even though ball and hand will kind of fix all. That's like the perfect medicine. If you had made a bad shot on your last inning, that's like the perfect one to get you right back in tune. But
no, that's right. Get your confidence back up. You get some momentum back. You're on the table.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's really psychological, and you know it. I mean, everybody here can make all the balls. Open layout, there's not a player in this tournament that wouldn't have run that rack out with ball in hand most of the time. One of the things that Jayson does really good is that axiom of you have to learn to play for it all like it means nothing.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and he's real good about that, compartmentalizing the importance of this one singular rack. And he just plays his game, and like you were saying earlier, he's himself when he plays.
That's right. That's the sign I really look for. It's the one that worries me. You know, and now there's a borderline, I think, of, you know, being too joking or whatever, you know, whatever it may be, but the guys that are truly themselves when they're playing the game as well, I think are the ones that seem to me the most relaxed and really able to pull the trigger under the most heat.
Track 17.
Yeah, Jayson for sure can pull the trigger under the most heat.
Okay, putting plenty of steam on that. He's going to have to watch out for this corner over here. Now, is he going to get a 2-5 combination up in the corner?
Not sure.
Thinking offensive?
He's been making the one with regularity throughout the match, and the cue ball's ending up near the 2 quite a bit, and it almost seems like the 2's on the back of the rack like it should be random, but the speed he's hitting him, it gets clipped back down, and it's almost like he's playing position for the 2 by letting the cue ball come down slow.
He's in a funny spot trying to duck here, though. There's nothing I like about anything here. He could elevate and try and play the 2 off the edge of the 5 and send in the 2 towards the 7 or up, and then maybe playing the cue ball up nestled on the 9. Are you looking at the billiard here, and maybe I play the 2 into the 5 and I leave the 2 on the side rail and maybe make the 9? I like him shooting at the 2-5. I'm not going to lie. If he can get the cue ball out and back over, I think he'll drain the 2-5. He's looking at the billiard and sending the 2 to the end rail. Look at this shot, folks.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's laying right for that. I think he'd have to really pop it. And that's a long ways to a narrow side pocket.
Yeah, but he's really in a tough spot. I'm not in love with anything. I think elevating on the 2, letting the 2 go into the 5, and just let the cue ball nestle behind the 9 like that. That's the shot. I know it's not always great, but it looked like the shot to me. It was easy to execute under pressure.
Simplicity is your friend when you're here under heat.
You know, like here, it turned out to be a good snooker. And sometimes what the deal is, you're not going to get the greatest snooker, but at least you're getting the snooker under the pressure. You know, a lot of times you go out of your way to not get the snooker. You're like, oh, if I do this, I do that, I can fall over here, and then boom, you leave them a little bit of a gap, and then you're in trouble.
Uh-oh. He doesn't get the other jump cue. He's getting out a short-range jump cue. Ken Schumann was not going to let him. You only get 3 cues, he said. Ken counted them out loud for the audience.
I think he's just got to roll one rail at this side pocket. I know the angle's a little funny, but you just got to trust it, figure it out, and go right at that side and try and kick this in. You kick it like a medium speed where you don't lose accuracy, not too soft, not too hard, just that medium. It's a tough one to gauge now on this slick cloth, but he's played enough on it. I'm pretty sure he'll be successful hitting it. And you'll know coming from that angle, if he hits it, he's got a good chance to make it, Mark. And I like the speed he hit. He gave himself a chance to separate him, even though it didn't work out.
Yeah. The other part of it, you can take it on with not too much fear, because you figure to lose no matter what you do here. If you might as well give yourself a chance to win. So.
And Kenny and Co are talking about the rules. That may be a rule that I wasn't aware of that rule. I was here for the players' meeting. I didn't recall hearing that rule. I could have easily snoozed it, not hearing it, but.
I'll tell you my take on it is that a lot of times players dig in their case during the match to break out a jump cue, and maybe they're aware that they have a couple different jump cues and they don't want to bring all 3 at that time, because like in that instance he would have preferred the other one.
I understand. Yeah.
Because I was saying, why would you not come here with your equipment assembled? I don't understand that, but perhaps that plays into that.
Oh.
They're not sure which 3 they're going to use.
True that. And then they get to make a decision depending on the first shot. They have to. Yeah, I got you. And now just 4 away from a 10-7 lead, which sounds like a big lead, which under the circumstances it's not bad, but it's certainly within striking distance for Co if Jayson really lets him back at the table with an open look. And that's one thing, like that safety. It's like Rodney Morris back in the day. He didn't play always the most traditional safeties, but he could lay the cue ball down, and his touch was so good. He was a lot like this kind of guy right here.
Yeah.
Just knocked him in from everywhere, no matter the distance.
10-7 is our score. Well, in the last match that we broadcast, it was Corey Deuel versus Joshua Filler. Corey played great, got out 10-5, but that was not a big league. Filler ended up 10-9 and breaking, So,
yeah.
And Corey didn't make any mistakes. He just didn't get a turn. Filler ran those racks.
Yeah, I don't know how it happens, but just like other sports, it's just like you almost always get that chance. We'll watch the baseball game tonight, and somebody's going to have the lead going into the 8th or 9th, but they'll get a runner on or 2 runners on, whatever they need to bring that tying run to the plate. That's just a great. That's why it's continually sports are a part of our history, because there's nothing quite like them.
Here's our kick attempt average, or kick performance average. Ko has had 7, 2 kicking errors. Shaw's had 3 kicks, 0 kicking errors. Yeah, you have to expect that Ko's going to make a run at you. You know, if you don't get the break and run out the final rack.
I wonder if they have a kick day in Taiwan.
They probably do. No, in all seriousness, these guys train. You know,
I'm being kind of serious too. Wondering, how they value the jump cue over the kicking at the ball. So, I mean, if you have a jump day and you don't have a kick day, you must say that the jump cue is more important.
Well, I think they have a safety day. I think they have breaking day.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't hear anything. Not seeing anything. Now we're going to see a long distance 1 ball, which isn't too hard to make, but you'll see the 2 all the way back here on the end rail. So he's going to have to come with 1 here. It wouldn't be that bad if the 3, 7, 8 weren't there, but with that traffic, this angle he has, he really doesn't offer being able to go forward. And it's a little bit of an angle to draw the cue ball past them balls and get all the way back down as well. So interesting here what we're going to see. He could wrap the corner with a top inside. That'd take a hell of a stroke, though.
Yeah, and he's got just enough angle the other way. When you hit it that hard, I think it warps out too far that the spin has a hard time grabbing.
Yeah, and we're going to see him, I think, execute the draw shot here. So we had talked about him going forward with the cue ball, how efficient he is, but we'll see about the draw. I think the draw can really get you pinned, though. You can not only get into the 7 if you just overcut a hair and it doesn't take off on you. I think it brings the scratch in the side a little more involved. Oh, what a great hit. Wow.
All right. That's world-class pool, folks.
Yeah, and really unlucky to get as straight on the 2 as he did. And if the 3 doesn't pass the 7, this is going to be funny. The 3 goes in the lower right, but he may have to just really punch this quite a bit to get down there a little bit. Okay, he must have enough angle to just punch straight out, go down the side rail. Oh, it goes by this? No, it didn't go.
I think the 3 goes.
Okay, looking at the monitor, to me, okay, it must go. Knows he can't afford any errors, trailing 10-7. So did he overhit that a little bit?
Not bad.
No, and you'll always learn that you almost can always handle a hair of an overhit as far as falling in position, and it's usually a hair of an overhit doesn't make you miss the ball too much. It's definitely the one you want to err towards rather than the underhit. The underhit gets you out of line, it seems like, way more often, and you tend to miss a ball a little more often. Looks like he can just stop his ball there and have a nice angle to come shoot the 6 and go by. Oh, he's going to go forward. Okay.
Just a smidgen of angle. He can just top spin 2 cushions. No, he went around.
That's way short. That's way short. And going to be over the 9 with a funny angle. You can't really pull it past the 7 without really flirting with it, overhitting it or scratching. And if it goes forward, he's going to go into the 8, excuse me. So really a funny shot here. Interested to see, is he going to, all right, he's going to try and go by the 8 and just kill it with straight bottom.
Boy.
That's what I was worried about, it getting away from you. That's why you don't want that angle, because you have to hit it hard enough to draw by the 8 and not catch the 8, but then still soft enough to contain for position on the 8. So really he should have looked at a little more. I think he could have done a little more kill in the cue ball. Okay, he's cutting this one in. Keep an eye on this one, fans. This one's awfully thin. Cue ball's going to have a lot of speed on it unless he's throwing it in. I got to imagine he's just flat cutting it in. Hit it. Little thick. And it still went.
boy.
Wow. He threw it in
nice
with outside
shot.
English. Wow.
What a nice shot. Our knowledgeable audience respects that, appreciates it.
And under the pressure, what a shot.
Well, there it is. He earned one there.
Yeah, well, great shot on the 1 ball, great shot on the 3 ball,
Wow.
incredible shot on the 8.
I guess looking back, I would award 2 points for that game alone, for all the good shots he made, if you could allow me that. That was a hard run by comparison to what some of those games were.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens on this next break. If you'll remember, his last opportunity before this rack was a scratch cross side on the break. And that was at, I believe that was at 7-6. Is that right? That was at him leading 7-6, and Jayson ran out, took a break, came back, and ran 2 racks off the timeout to make it 9-7, I believe. And then 10-7, and now we're at 10-8.
I remember they had a break at 6-6, and Jayson ran 2 racks, came back 8-6.
Maybe that was it then, but yeah. Well, Ko had grabbed a lead, a 1-game lead, actually.
Maybe that was 6-5 at that point.
Okay, and then I know, I'm pretty sure before this last game, his last shot at the table was at 6-6, and then I thought 7-6 lead, but maybe not. But we'll see if he makes an adjustment on that break, because he went just 1 rail just straight across in the side. There were no kisses or anything, so.
Rack 19, no breaks, 10-8.
Ko Ping-Chung breaking, 7 ball on the wing.
I lost the cue ball again. Where's the 2 going to go?
He made the 1. It's a legal
It doesn't
break.
appear he has a shot. Looks like the 6 is in his way.
Yeah.
And the way the balls are laying, it really appears he'll probably roll out to a jump shot here. Don't see him rolling out up table. There's too much cover. There's too much ways to cover up, meaning play safe if you're Jayson. He rolls out up there, he's asking to get snookered. Or I think anyway, do you roll out up there? I can't roll out up there with all them balls there. Maybe something's a little funnier than I think it is, but
He's also mindful that super firepower on the other side of the ledger. So,
yeah, I agree with that. But not only did he not put him on the rail, I don't understand this at all.
yeah,
I mean,
he
how
seems
can he ever
unhappy,
get
yeah.
this back? You always want to roll out to get it back, right?
Yeah.
With the 4-8 there and all that, he can coast the 2 over to the side around, drop down below this 7-4-8, and really just kind of pin him, making it real tough to jump over 2 balls to me. Like just move the 2 past the left on the left side of the 3.
Yeah.
You got a lot of cover there. You could also do it with the cue ball, moving the 2 over on the other side of the 6. Like this was a real bad rollout if you're Ko. Like he might get in jail right here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I completely agree with your assessment that was too easy for Jayson. I think anyone could.
Yeah. You had to, even I might have rolled out to a jump shot, and I hate the jump shot overall.
And you certainly want your man to work harder than that to get safe and make him take a little bit of a chance. He didn't have to take much chance at all with that one.
Yeah, when you're rolling out, and especially on this level, any level really, you're really trying to roll out to get it back with some type of reasonable effort, whether it be an offensive effort or something that's doable, but not easy. You can't roll out to easy. Another kicking error. Now, is that because of this TV table, which is much slicker?
No, that wasn't the right shot. He needed to go the
On
other side of the 5
with the
and
hair of
open it a
English.
little bit. Yeah. He was trying to do something special there.
Well, he went a ways beside the 5, too. Like, even if he wanted to go to the right side of the 5, he could have gotten much closer to it. So now ball in hand with Jayson Shaw here, just really needing to get from the 4 to the 5. You'll notice the 6, 7, 8, 9 are right there together. And you got a little thin on this 3 if you're me. Okay? You may have to float this in and just go bump the 7 ever so gently. Or maybe even just barely go by it. Just like so. Now, that's why I think...
He landed pretty heavy.
Yeah, that's why I think floating it in was better. Don't ever take a chance to go by it. Like, I think he's going to be okay, though. Great hit.
Oh, big shot there. How's it going to turn out? No.
Lips goes in. This is no good. Wow.
Well,
wow.
Here we go.
We're going to see what he can do, and he's doing it. He's going to do it. If I'm him, I'm just leveling out, though.
yeah.
Sometimes I've seen him elevate in certain hairy situations when, like your nerves are going. But he's so good fundamentally leveling out. I just can't. If I was coaching him, I'd say just, medium speed, catch a piece of the 9, no big deal.
Take your chances here with Jayson Shaw rolling this in.
Yeah.
He knows that was a big shot.
Yeah, and you'll notice just because he got distance, he didn't want to lose accuracy by just murdering the ball. Just hit it nice and clean. Just got to come out to the center of the table, a couple rails, so you can go right by the 9, shooting the 8. This is to go to the final 4. Or excuse me, the finals of the winner's side.
Right. Winner of the winner's bracket match.
He's going to shoot this with a little bit of speed.
Very routine 9-ball. Jayson Shaw.
Great shooting by Jayson.
Yeah, really was.
Great shooting by Ko.
Yeah, the whole match. Ko ended up playing a 905. Jayson 971. I don't know if the game was going to like any of that. I've never seen anyone lose playing 971. Normally we thank the audience for sitting in, but I want to thank you for them because of all your insights. You really offered a lot and add a lot to the production. It's a total pleasure to have you here, Jeremy.
Thank these players. They make it easy on us.
Yeah, it's true that. You didn't get really tested here on your broadcasting skills. You get a dud out here, and we'll find out. But no.
And I think you'll see Jayson Shaw so happy because if you're a player, that's the key. Get to the finals of the winter side. Then I just got to win 1 out of 2 to get in the finals of the tournament. So,
and it's just 1 set final, so that's perfect. Jason's little girl out on the floor. All right, this has been an Accu-Stats Billiards production. Any rebroadcast or republication without Accu-Stats express written consent is prohibited. On behalf of Jeremy Jones and myself, we want to thank you for sitting in with us today. Please come back soon. So long for just a while.
Introducing Lucasi Hybrid, a whole new level of performance and technology. A cue with the revolutionary X-Shocks dampening system, eliminating vibration. G5 grip technology for enhanced traction and stability results in maximum cue control. Total sweet spot construction means unmatched power. And the zero flex point ferrule provides dead-on accuracy, giving you the confidence you need in every shot. Lucasi Hybrid, the only cue that matters.
The evolution of cue training continues. Introducing the DigiCue Blue, a Bluetooth-enabled electronics billiard coach that fits inside a soft rubber housing and attaches to the butt end of any pool, snooker, or billiard cue. The DigiCue Blue constantly monitors your stroke and sends detailed statistics of every shot to your smartphone or mobile device. The DigiCue Blue checks your stroke for inconsistencies and gives you immediate feedback by quietly vibrating when it detects a flaw and seamlessly transmitting that information to your phone or tablet. There are 3 preset modes as well as a fully customizable option to suit all players from beginners to professionals. The DigiCue app also tracks your data over time so you can visually see your improvement. Numbers don't lie. Train smarter. The DigiCue Blue.